wrestling fans, and welcome to Wrestler Weekly Presents. I'm your host, Scottie Richardson. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you enjoyed last week's episode when we talked about the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And this week, that's right, it's Wildfire time. Somebody say something about Tommy Wildfire Rich. Yes, we did. Thank you for joining me this week. And man, I am excited. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. Are you ready? We're going to jump right in. If you want to follow us, you can find us at Wrestler Weekly on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and here at your home in Raleigh, North Carolina on YouTube every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. This is episode 13, which means, drum roll please. That's right. There's only 2 episodes left in season 2. Can you believe it? We've had an unbelievable ride down memory lane here at Old School Wrestling headquarters. And don't forget, that's right, Family Bacon Wrestling is coming to you. I know you've been seeing all the tweets and things getting you fired up for that. I'm going to be booking myself to a few podcasts around to promote the book, so it should be exciting in the next couple of weeks. So without further ado, let's jump right in. We're going to have a quick show for you this week. This program comes from Georgia Championship Wrestling. I've written myself a note. This is from March 25th of 1979 in Macon, Georgia. And this is a program that you would receive at the event. And here is the card in Macon, Georgia, on March 25th, 1979. The main event was the Masked Superstar against Bullet Bob Armstrong. Now, that doesn't get much more Georgia than that. How about Ole Anderson in a main event grudge battle against Stan Hansen? Blackjack Lanza took on the man Tommy Wildfire Rich. And it said if Rich beats Lanza, he gets 5 minutes with Bobby Heenan. Now this is when Bobby the Brain was in Georgia. Also in Georgia was the Oates brothers, Jerry and Ted. And they took on Frank Dusek and Larry Latham. Now the Macon heavyweight champion, says right here, Macon. I didn't know there was a Macon heavyweight champion, but apparently there was, and it was Chief Wahoo McDaniel was the Macon champion. Some great photos on the back. Masked Superstar, Bullet Bob Armstrong, Stan Hansen, Ole Anderson, Mr. Wrestling Tim Woods. This one says to Scotty and the future Tommy Wildfire Rich. Check out that. 1979, a young Tommy Wildfire Rich. Now, as you know, I spent about 6 months with the Wildfire down in Myrtle Beach last year, and we had a great ride, and here he is, Tommy Wildfire Rich. How about this one, the Ringsider? Now, this, as you know, is the Georgia official wrestling weekly magazine, the Ringsider. This is Tommy Wildfire Rich with the suit. Dick Slater on the back, Mr. Excitement. Now I've got, this one is signed by Austin Idol, the Universal Heartthrob. There's the Freebirds, Terry Gordy, Michael Hayes, Mr. Wrestling 2. Some great stars. Now this is here in Georgia Championship Wrestling, but this one is good. Look at this. The stars are here. Ric Flair, the NWA World Champion. Dusty Rhodes, who we talked about last week. Gary Hart. A couple weeks ago, or was it last week? My buddy Mike Leotis, we talked about Gary Hart and how I look like him when I put the sunglasses on. There's Kabuki and Stan Hansen. What's great about this is this one still has the insert. Hard to find. Tonight's All-Star Wrestling card. This is from Columbus, Ohio. Georgia Championship Wrestling in Ohio. We talked about this briefly back in season 1 when we talked about Austin Idol against Ricky Steamboat. And here it is, Columbus, Ohio, November 22nd, 1981. So this is 2 months after Ric Flair is the world champion. And Tommy Rich versus Ric Flair. So you can see that. Tommy Rich versus Ric Flair for the World Heavyweight Championship. Unbelievable. Great program. This says, to my man, Scotty, we have arrived. Tommy, Wildfire Rich. Some great stuff. Some great memorabilia. Now, this is from TNT Times. For those that do not know, Terry R. Justice. This guy was so far ahead of the game when it came to publications. And this guy, what he would do is he would cut out. He would go through newspapers from around the world, well, around the U.S., you know what I mean. And so here we go. Around the wrestling scene, he would cut out and then make a little program, stapled at the top, and then he would send these out. Specials on old TV wrestling, the Moondogs, Angelo Mosca, the Mighty Atlas, Bill Dundee, Andre, Tommy Rich, and Bob Backlund. To my man, Scotty, Tommy Wildfire Rich. The TNT Times, Terry R. Justice. Great one. Great one. Now, this is a picture from WrestleCon back in 2017. It says, to Scotty, we have arrived. There's me and Tommy. That's me with the t-shirt. 1981 NWA World's Champion. A great one there. Me and the old Wildfire. Now, as you know, early August of last year, down in Myrtle Beach, we had a grand opening of Tommy's Wrestling School. And this was the 8x10 that we passed out. If you came to the event, you were given this for free, which, as you know, in fandom, in our fandom, that never happens. But we did it. And Austin Idol, Tommy Rich, Miss USA Tony Atlas, all three were there. Wrestle Weekly, we promoted it. We did it up big. And this is the 8x10 that was signed by all three wrestlers. All right. Tony Atlas. Speaking of Tony Atlas, here's a program from the WWF. This is from, let's see, I had the date. Let's see if I still have it. George Napolitano was involved in this program. Here we go. Madison Square Garden, Monday, December 8th, 1980. Signed by Tony Atlas. Now, I found this in a Myrtle Beach comic book store. Picked this one up. And shout out to the person that hid this. There's a referee by the name of Slowboy Steven. Slowboy hid this, and yours truly found it, picked it up, and then at this event, I got Tony Atlas to sign it. This is a WWF program. Here's the card. Larry Zbyszko against Dominic DeNucci. That's a great match. How about the Samoans? They're the challengers. So the Samoans and Captain Lou Albano against the WWF Tag Champions Rick Martel and Tony Garea. Special event, Tony Atlas from Roanoke, Virginia against a man from Houston, Texas, Ernie the Big Cat Lad. And then a return match. Here, check this one out. Special referee Pat Patterson in a match between Ken Patera and Pedro Morales. And then in the main event, Bruno Sammartino against Sergeant Slaughter. Great, great. Here's Ernie Ladd. So you had these two guys in the match. Ernie Ladd, Tony Atlas. Great program. Signed by Tony Atlas. We talked about Austin Idol, the Universal Heartthrob, my buddy. Here's the mag I talked about. This was in Ohio. Austin Idol signed, going up against Ricky Steamboat. Now, when you talk about Tommy Rich, you talk about matches that he had, unbelievable matches. How about the first Hell in a Cell, right? You know what I'm talking about? The last Battle of Atlanta, signed Tommy Wildfire Rich. And then Austin Idol, that's his signature. He was taking on Stan Hansen, and he talks about that match with Stan on Austin's podcast. So if you want to check that out, here we go. Now we talk about Tommy Rich. We talk about matches and things he went through. How about one from PWI 1981? Ken Patera signed with Tommy Wildfire Rich. What a match that is. So here's two matches. You know, think about Tommy. He didn't back down from anybody. He would wrestle anybody, anywhere, anytime, any place. Boom, there you go. Ken Patera and Buzz Sawyer. Now, got a couple mags left for you on this episode. Here we go. This one is one that we call the back cover number 2. This was from Wrestling Album number 5. This cover, here we go, Tommy Wildfire Rich. He says, "To my man Scottie," signed by Tommy Wildfire Rich. A great mag. Just let that sink in. Unbelievable. Now here's the Wrestling Album 4. Mike's been featuring this on our Wrestler Weekly Monday Mag Memorabilia. Last week we did Bob Backlund. This week we did Ric Flair. So that's a good one there. And now it's hot mag time. I know it's early. I'm losing my voice. The flu had me down. I'm getting back up. I'm ready to roll. Voice is shot. So here's what we're going to do. If you remember, we went back, and let me pull it back out for you. This is, where's it at? Here we go. Check this out. This was the Ringsider. This is from Columbus, Ohio, November 22nd, 1981. Here we go. Hot mag time. Drum roll. This is the Wrestler. February of 1982. Signed by Tommy Wildfire Rich and the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. I had this one signed at WrestleCon last year by both men. Here's the same outfit as you can see from Tommy. The classic robe with the feathers, the Starcade robe. And to be able to see both of these men so many years later, and to walk over and get Tommy to sign this one, and then walk back across the aisle there, if you will, and get the Nature Boy Ric Flair to sign it. What a great day that was. Unbelievable time to get that one. So recapping, and here's some more. We talked with Brian Blair a few weeks ago about his time in Georgia. There's Gordon Soley, Mass Superstar. There's Super Destroyer. All right. The Angel. Who else we got in here? Here's the champions. The Georgia Tag Champions. Now check this out. Otis Sistrunk and Michael Hayes are your Georgia Tag Champions. The national champion is Tommy Wildfire Rich. The world champion is Nature Boy Ric Flair. Ringsider, don't forget, editor was Freddie Miller. And he says, to the fans, a new, stronger influx of international talent will be announced soon on Georgia Championship Wrestling. It will mean more exciting matches for our fans than ever before in history. Watch for the news on Georgia Championship Wrestling on TV. Saturday at what time? That's right, 6:05 to 8:05 on Super 17. And Sundays at 5:35 to 6:35. And in very great fashion, Freddie Miller, as he always said. What did he say? Georgia Championship Wrestling. You got to see it to believe it. Don't miss it. Be there.
Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Are you ready to wrestle? Because if so, Tommy Wildfire Rich, the 1981 NWA World Heavyweight Champion with over 40 years of wrestling experience, is pleased to announce the grand opening of the Tommy Wildfire Rich School of Wrestling at the X-Gym Sports Mall. The Tommy Wildfire Rich School of Wrestling has a brand new 18-foot ring, over 2 tons in weightlifting equipment, and tanning beds. And with over 200,000 square feet, there's plenty of space to run monthly events from some of the biggest names in wrestling, making sure you as a student get seen. On Saturday, August 5th from noon till 4, and Sunday, August 6th from 1 till 4, you're invited to come out for a free meet and greet with Tony Atlas, Austin Idol, and Tommy Wildfire Rich. The Tommy Wildfire Rich School of Wrestling, 568 George Bishop Parkway in Myrtle Beach.
This is Scottie from Wrestler Weekly. No introduction needed for this man, Tommy Wildfire Ridge.
The sign says it the best, a lucky dog. Living in Myrtle Beach, living the dream. If you have a dream to be a professional wrestler, come to Myrtle Beach and live the dream with Tommy Wildfire Ridge. You want to join our wrestling school, you contact Chris Morris at wrestlerweekly.com.
Scottie of Wrestler Weekly, Tommy Wildfire Ridge.
Somebody say something about the King of Memphis said it best. When he's hung that song, you got to follow that dream wherever it may lead you. And I ain't talking about the King of Memphis, Jerry Lawler. I'm talking about the real King of Memphis, Elvis Presley, baby. And I've lived on that dream all my life. And it don't matter if you want to call garbage, if you want to be a lawyer, no matter what your dream is, you got to have the passion, the heart to do it. And I followed my dream. It brought me to Myrtle Beach, and I'm still living my dream, guys and girls. Hey, if you want to be a manager, you want to be an announcer, you want to be a ladies wrestler, you want to be a professional wrestler, guys, come on down and live your dream in Myrtle Beach. What better place? Hey, August the 5th at 6, we're having our big grand opening. We got the Universal Heartthrob, Austin Idol, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas, myself. On Saturday, it'll be from 12 to 4, and on Sunday, it's from 1 to 4. So everybody come on out. We want the families to come down too, but all you guys and girls and anybody that has a dream that pertains to professional wrestling, come on down and talk to us, because we can make your dreams come true.
We did in the past, and some of the stories was kind of amazing, and y'all keep tuning in. We always gonna have some good stories for you. I was just telling Tommy about when I first started wrestling. They told me to go in the ring and shine. Now I didn't know what that means. So George Scott said, Tony, I want you to go in that ring and I want you to shine. So I said, okay. So I get in the ring and I wrestle George 2-ton hair. With George 2-ton hair just kicked the crap out of me from beginning all the way to the end. All of a sudden I threw him in the ring, I put the sleeper on it, and he went out. I won the match, I came back. George Scott, who was the book at the time, said, Tony, I thought I told you to shine. I said, but George, I usually have about a baby on.
And he did too.
Yeah. So, you know, wrestling, us guys, we travel all the time. You know, we learn a lot about the world. And now that what the guys do, they fly over the city. They don't get to see the city. Tommy and myself, we went to town. We knew all the people there. People usually would bring us food to the matches, to bring us gifts. We knew the fans, and the fans knew us. And so, you know, that's why I'm very happy to see my old friend Tommy again. And right now we're at the Tommy Wildfire Ridge School of Wrestling here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And y'all people, y'all come on there and really learn what wrestling is all about, the way it used to be, the way it should be, and get to meet us. And this is some of our old stories and everything. And Tommy, you got a story for the fans?
Well, as a matter of fact, I do, Tommy.
All right.
I don't know if I can tell this. I got a couple like that.
Okay, this one we do.
Hey, but no. First off, I want to thank Tony for coming down for the grand opening. You know, it's one thing. I mean, my credentials stand for themselves. NWA former world heavyweight champion. Got to wrestle the best of the best, and gained a lot of knowledge over 40 years from some of the wrestling greats. I'm talking about the Bruiser Brothers,
Harley Race,
the Harley Races. You know, the greatest world heavyweight champion there is to me. Stan Hansen. I mean, you know, Mad Dog Bus Sawyer.
Yeah.
And we look at it now, I mean, it's a blessing because we don't get to see each other like we used to. It's probably 10 years ago we wrestled together, and then last year in Macon, Georgia. And then last year we was at the WrestleCon together. And it's so weird because we have the commodity that you might not see each other for 5 years, but it's like you ain't never lost a step because the conversation's the same. See, I love him like he's my brother, and he is my brother. And just to get his support and Austin Idol to come down and help me with this grand opening, that means a lot. So to you kids out there, if your dream is to be a professional wrestler, come on down, because not only are we going to teach you how to wrestle, but we're going to teach you the psychology, what it is all about. So if it's your dream, Myrtle Beach is the best place in the world to follow a dream. Come on down. You want to be a wrestler, manager, referee, commentator, come on down, because we're offering all of that. 568 Bishop Parkway at the X Gym. So y'all check us out and come on down.
And shine.
Shine. Wrestler Week is coming at you live. Tommy Wildfire Rich. The big debate. Old school, new school. Who cares? Wrestling Weekly, they bring you all the news.